What's going on, guys? It is your boy Junior from PNP Customs coming back at you with another video. Today we have a 2018 Dodge Charger SXT pulling up to the shop for a video upgrade. Now, in terms of Dodge Chargers, they don't really have a lot of options when it comes to Android video or any kind of video upgrade. So what we're going to do for this client is we're going to give him the universal Chrysler video that's on my website. This is the same exact video that we installed on the Jeep Grand Cherokee. I'm not going to get too deep into the installation process because it's exactly the same as the Jeep Grand Cherokee I did a couple videos ago. So you can go back to the video and use that as an installation guide. Now, these Chrysler vehicles, the Chryslers, the Dodge, and the Jeeps, they tend to have this issue with the screen where it gets delaminated over time and then it starts tapping on itself. So this client's looking for just to replace it. So he's not looking for anything crazy. By the way, the reason you can use that Jeep Grand Cherokee video as an installation guide is because Chrysler tends to use the same exact harness, the same exact radial size, the same exact frame for almost all of their vehicles. As I mentioned, Jeep Grand Cherokees, Chargers, Challengers, Durangos, the Chrysler 300, they all tend to have the same exact radio, so the plug is pretty much the same. So the only thing different for each vehicle is how to remove the radio, but everything else on installing the Android radio is exactly the same. So let's go ahead and start getting this bad boy installed. And before you guys ask, unfortunately, no, this radio is not compatible with the sport packages of the vehicle. So if you have an SRT, Scat Pack, and a Hellcat or other ones that have the transmission settings and all that, unfortunately, that is not recuperated. In other words, that radio is not compatible with your car if those kinds of settings mean a lot to you. Now, this is I'm speaking in terms of the present, so maybe this will change over time and maybe it would recuperate those. But as of right now, it does not recuperate those, but it does recuperate the climate control settings. It does recuperate it, the steering wheel control settings. If you have a backup camera, it also recuperates that. This is the SXT. It doesn't come with a backup camera, but we will add an HD one that you guys will see later in the video. And also, it recuperates the FM radio. Everything that's like that comes with the car from factory, it's recuperated. But anything extra like sports settings and all that, not at all. So for the Dodge Charger, the panel is held in with just clips. Remove the 4 7mm that are holding in the radio. After you do that, it's gonna have some plugs on the back of the radio. They all have a latch at the top. They all have the same idea. All you have to do is just push the latch down, as it will showcase in the video. Push it down, wiggle left and right, is not coming out, but all you have to do is just pull it outwards towards you, you can say. These Chrysler videos are also very easy to install. All it is just one main harness, like a giant T harness, and then the rest would be just like accessories, your GPS, your 4G antenna, your microphone, and all that. So this is the main harness that the Android video comes with. It's very unmistakable. There's only one big plug, so you have one male and one female. You go ahead and connect that. It even throws out the camera RCA if you do have a backup camera. This guy didn't, so that's not going to be used. This white female connector is going to go with the black antenna FM connector. That's going to recuperate your radio signal. And then this gray plug that you took out of the original radio, that's your factory USB. You're going to plug in this blue USB adapter that's going to recuperate that USB so you can still charge your phone and enter music through there. If you have like a hard drive full of videos, images, music, you can still recuperate that, so that just plugs into the back of the radio as so. Now, in terms of fitment, this is what you want it to look like. So we only used 2 out of the 4 7mm that were to take out, because if you notice, it doesn't really line up properly. It's okay, it's universal. You won't use all of them, as I mentioned earlier in the video. With these 2 screws, it'll hold in nice and snug. All you have to do is just clip in the panel back into place and you're all done. And voila, it looks like as if nothing was ever done. No more delaminated screen. Now, the client went for an Android video, specifically the one we have on our website. It's because it's a good price. On top of that, you guys know that the dealership will charge you a hefty penny for a brand new Chrysler radio. I think he told me he was going to get charged $1,200, but that's just a radio, not even labor. For a brand new one, by the way. No backup camera, no nothing. So we went ahead and hooked him up with this Android radio. So you can see perfect fitment, nice and snug. An Android radio means it's pretty much like a phone, so you can give it some Wi-Fi. And when you give it some Wi-Fi, you can download some apps off of the Play Store, or you can go to Chrome, you can download YouTube, and then you can start watching some videos on there as well. Now, of course, you got to give it some good Wi-Fi, because when you do that, you can see how fast and responsive the video is. I clicked on a new video and it automatically loaded very quick. Now, obviously, I don't want you guys driving while watching YouTube, so do be careful with that. This is mainly so when you have a passenger, or if you're on break out of work, you can, watch Netflix, your show on that. Also, this radio has its own outputs, so when you remove the old radio and you put this one new in, you have your sub, your rear, and your front. That means if you want to add a music system, you can. And since it has an equalizer and an integrated crossover, it sounds beautiful. So you don't have to put an equalizer or an audio processor when you're installing a music system because you already have this radio installed. It even has the input for a front camera if you wanted to add one. It also comes with the rear one if you recuperate the original one. And of course, here is the climate control, so you do not lose anything. Vent speed is still working. You also have your temperature there, your heated seats and all that. All that still works. So in summary, everything works as it should. You don't lose anything when it comes to this radio. Climate control is recuperated. Steering wheel controls are recuperated. The backup camera, if you had it, recuperated. You also have your driving modes there. But I remember I said the transmission settings are not recuperated. This client also gains wireless Apple CarPlay and wireless Android Auto. So if I connect the client's phone or my phone, depending on what kind of phone it is, since I have a Samsung, it's going to be the wireless Android Auto. But if the client has an iPhone, then it would be wireless Apple CarPlay. You can play your music on here. You can skip forward, skip backwards. This would be a radio that's considered to be low key because it's not like a Tesla style where it's like a bigger screen or anything like that. When this vehicle is off, it looks like nothing was done. So the client gains wireless Apple CarPlay and also the screen works perfectly fine. You can see it's very responsive, not like that delaminated screen. There is the audio processor I was telling you guys about if you want to add a music system. And if you're buying an Android video, you're not really going to be using the radio FM just because you have all of these options in terms of music. But yeah, it still recuperates your FM. You can still save your channels there. And we also installed the HD backup camera. So as soon as he reverses, he can automatically see what's behind him and he can be a lot more careful that he doesn't hit the car behind. But you put it back in park or in drive and the camera automatically goes back. You guys know we do it best here at PNP.